Hello everybody, welcome to Creative Chess channel, and today we're going to speak about Tal's Super Rook. First we'll start with the position number 1. It's a game between Grigorian and Tal, played in 1967. Tal was playing black and it was his move. And here, if we have a look at this position, we can see that white has a passed pawn. It can be either strength or weakness. Here it's mostly weakness because you see rooks are ready to attack it, and Tal makes some advantage of this. He's playing knight to b4. Actually, this jump is very nice because first of all we are taking the bishop, then a knight wants to jump to a2, and that will be the fork. So what to do for white? If, for example, just retreat, protecting everything, in this case black goes knight to a6, and you see that we can't protect the pawn. White can't protect the pawn, and the pawn is captured with very good position for black. That's why, one day or not, but white has to take the bishop. And here Tal decided to go for a very interesting endgame. Instead of just taking this bishop, he goes knight to a2. It's a fork, and so we are taking 3 pieces at the moment. And white, of course, has to retreat to the bishop, and knight takes to c3. And what we get is the endgame where we have a rook, but our opponent, we have actually 2 rooks, yes, and our opponent has a knight and a bishop and a rook. Here Grigorian played the rook to e3. Of course, it's be bad just to exchange this, because you see the pawn is very strong, and white pieces lack coordination, and probably black would just win pushing the pawn without any problems. So that's why, of course, white decided to leave 1 rook on the board, because this rook will try to stop the pawn and help these pieces. So, but at the same time, if we have a look at the first rank, it's very weak, and Tal, as he was a great attacking play, he sees this immediately and checks. Knight e1, rook d8. It's clear that Tal wants to play to d2, because here it's useless, because it would be protected, the knight, I mean. So he wants to make both rooks very active. f1, rook d2. Yeah, they say that in a lot of cases knight and bishop are stronger than the rook, but in this case you see that the pieces of white don't have any coordination. That's why so they are defending. So now, okay, white changed their mind. Now they are ready to change the rooks. But Tal prefers to have something more than just endgame. He wants to go for an attack. That's why now he doesn't want, he avoids exchanges. Rook b4, rook c2, and finally Tal decides, okay, so I'm going to exchange, and let's have a precise look. Very dangerous pawn. 2 pieces can't stop it, and quite easily black is outplaying. And moreover, we need to also to say that a rook can easily switch from this side to that side, and that's why for white it's sometimes very difficult to protect everything, because rook can easily swing from king side to queen side. Bishop d1, a5. White tries to bring the king into the game and try to maybe to stop the pawn together with the king, but Tal plays a4, king d3, rook b3 check, and you see the rook sees that here the pawn is stopped, at least right now. That's why it tries to swing to another part of the board, trying to capture this pawn. So bishop e2, rook g1, attacking g2 pawn, bishop f3, rook f1, and now you see out of a sudden we are winning, black is winning another pawn. King goes to g3, maybe white wanted to trap the rook, but it's impossible. Rook takes to f2, bishop e4, and you see these pawns here are also very strong. So not only this pawn is strong, but these two are also very strong. So e5, yeah, but here is already a very bad position. That's why we will not stop here anymore. We'll just have a look how Tal very quickly outplaying his opponent, and after several moves the rook swings for this pawn, so if white takes this, will take this and that one. That's why they play g3, but you see it's e4, and here white resigned. They can't protect neither this nor that pawn, and then black would have four really scary pawns, very strong ones. That's why white resigned. Okay, it was game number one. Let's have a look at game number two. Here it was a game played in 1965 between Spassky and Tal. Spassky was playing white, Tal was playing black, and it was Tal to move. Here, if we calculated the pawn, counted the pawn, we see that black has one pawn up. But here maybe it's not enough, still not enough for a win, because white is blocking the king side. And this is a double pawn. Here the hopes of black are connected with the queen side, where white has weaknesses. Yes, if we have a look at the position, so c2 pawn is weak, a5 pawn is weak, so black is going to not to attack the king like Tal used to play usually in his games, but to go on for a queen's side pawns. So Tal played here knight to c2. Rook c1 was played. It seems that this is a trap, white's trap, and you see that seems that black is going to lose some material, but it's not like that. So Tal played knight to c4. First of all, we are attacking the bishop, and rook d3 was played. It was like a Spassky trap. It seems that so what to do? If we take, for example, the rook, then white just take, and they're going to attack both pieces, and white is going to even to win here. But for black, here there is a nice move, which was actually played by M.Tal. He played bishop to d4. It gives white the opportunity to go for an endgame, which we just seen in the previous game, where white, actually it happened in the game, white took, black takes, and you see that here, after some exchanges, there appears some endgame, where again Tal has a rook, and Spassky, this time Boris Spassky, has two pieces. This time we don't have the pawn to promote, but we have another pawn. It is closer to the king, that's why it's probably would seem to us that it will be easier for white to defend this position, but Spassky resigned here only in 6 moves. Let's have a look how it happened. d3 was played by Tal, and a very nice move, rook to d5. First of all, we are taking this pawn, but he keeps a very nice idea in mind. King g4 was played, and here, rook to e5. Rook to e5. So Tal just wants to come to e1, attack the bishop, and win the game. King f4 and rook e2. It's also very nice move. We are taking the pawn. H4 was played in the game. H5. And if we look at this position, very interesting position because it's position of One. So it's impossible for white to move at all. Of course, not to take the rook because we'll just take and promote the pawn. And we see that the bishop doesn't have any other moves. If we play with the king to a3, then after rook e1, you see bishop doesn't have the square anymore. That's why it's just trapped. So the king also doesn't have any moves. Pawns are blocked. That's why that's the only move is with the knight. Actually, it was played in the game, but rook e1 and bishop to h5, d2, and white resigned. You see here again, Tal's rook became stronger than two pieces of his opponent. These examples which I have just shown you were without queens, but I want to show you the last position where queens were still on board. But anyway, Tal went for his favorite exchange, two pieces for a rook or rook for two pieces. Actually, it was the game played in 1966 between Tal and Brink Clausen. It was a chess Olympiad. And here Tal played knight to d5. And first maybe it seems that white is just giving a piece. Of course, not to play like this because white would just lose. But Tal found a tricky, very nice, very beautiful move, rook to a8. And if we have a look at the position, it's very interesting because black can't take the queen because of the pin. At the same time, white is attacking the rook. If to take rook with the rook, then we'll take the bishop, then take their rook. So a lot of nuances. Actually, in the game, there was played bishop to a2, rook d8, king f7, and let's have a look at the position. Here it's again what we have just seen. The rook, Tal's rook, a strong rook of Tal, and two pieces. But you see the difference, great difference, that the queens are on board. That's why it's even more interesting. And if to play here positionally, then probably black would have some chances. For example, playing knight e7, then playing bishop to d5, trying to occupy this file and to checkmate. Moreover, sometimes these checks are possible, not very pleasant ones. And but here it's important that white is not going for some positional games. They want to attack the black king, which is not nicely protected by the pawns. That's why white here plays queen to c6. Nice move. First of all, they're going just to checkmate in one. At the same time, white queen is protecting c1 square, so that's why black doesn't have this check on c1. Okay, knight e7. Check anyway, and the king runs to the center of the board. Rook c8. First of all, rook wants to go to c6. It can't be taken because of the pin. And then again, you see that now the rook protects c1, and you see that Tal wants to stop all counterplay of black because it really can be very, very dangerous if we put this bishop here. Yes, all these light squares are very weak in black's camp. But you see now we are threatening this check. That's why black played queen d5. Rook c3 is played. Now white is planning a check from this side. It will be very unpleasant because it's losing the knight. Queen goes to d7, rook e3 check, king goes to d6, and of course here already white is not going to exchange and go to the end games which we have already seen, but they want to checkmate the black king because it's too exposed, and that's why Tal decided not to do this, not to exchange, and first checks, and very nice move a4. You see here we just want to take the square from the king, and maybe we will in future organize a very powerful pass pawn, especially if we take this pawn. Knight d5, rook e1, white goes to c1, king d6 again. I see black wants to exchange, but no exchanges. Rook c1, and it's a forced variation is coming, and here actually black already resigned, but we can go on with the game. It might have proceeded like rook e1, check, and after king f7 it's just checkmate. So you see here the same story. Tal has a rook, only two pieces of black, but now the problem of black was with their king. Tal noticed this idea and outplayed black with his fierce attack. Okay, guys, it doesn't mean I want to just to say yes that it doesn't mean that always rook is stronger than bishop and knight. Of course not. In every situation, you should calculate. You should think what might have happened. Here, for example, in this position, Tal saw that his rook and queen can be very dangerous for the king, for the black king. That's why he went for this endgame. If we speak about the previous examples, here, of course, when Tal went for this endgame, he kept in mind that there is a pawn which will be very difficult to stop, and moreover, the rook can swing to another part of the board if necessary. So all this you need to calculate, and there are a lot of cases where knight and bishop are stronger than the rook. But you see, in magic hands of M.Tal, the rook became a fierce weapon. So you should keep in mind that sometimes you can go for such exchanges, for such endgame where rook is much stronger than the knight and the bishop. Okay, guys, I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube chess channel. See you in my next videos, and bye bye.